Battle of the Challenges podcast with Vincent Cloud, and this is episode 2 of Champs versus Pros, settling the scores, watched by under 1 million people, just for the record. 530,000 people tuned in for this episode, and this is episode 2. The first episode, the premiere, 570,000 people. So they lost quite a bit. That's a huge dip, But at the same time, I don't know if I addressed this in the previous episode, but I was just like, MTV did not promote this, and because they waited until after someone was crowned on Invasion of the Champions. But it's like, that was a bad move. They should have promoted this way more in the lead up, because it's like, get it out there. You only promoted it for a week. That's absurd. And now this is why the numbers are so low on this particular thing, which is a huge shame, because this episode in particular was amazing. It was we got some really great face-offs in the eliminations, and it was significant. These are two real rivals going on between CM Punk and Merriman, and this would be, and then Johnny Bananas and Wes. This was huge. This was a headlining event. This deserved way more viewers, is what I'm getting at. UFC on MTV, Devin Anzio versus Bergman, that would be the headlining main event, because Johnny Bananas and Wes have, what does Wes say, a multi-chapter book with each other in their rivalry. Through all three Rivals installments, seasons, they were never each other's partner. And they really should be. But I think it's because producers, they're just like, listen, when these two are going at it together is amazing. To put them together would be very fucking bizarre. I almost view that as like, it might turn out just comical. Remember when Wes and Kenny were put together in Rivals 1? And they just became like caricatures of themselves. They're like, oh, we're dumb idiots, and we fall around and we lose and shit. We go in elimination and stuff, and we hate each other, right? But it was just kind of like, oh god, you guys are goofy as shit, because they were always DQing and stuff and whatever. So I guess that's why they never put Bananas and Wes. But you know what? I could not envision that, because when you talk about the Kenny and Wes rivalry, that's something. They mutually did not care for each other, and for good reasons. But with Johnny Bananas and Wes, it's different. Wes does not care for Johnny. He's just like, man, you're annoying and shit. And Bananas loathes Wes. He hates Wes so much. Johnny Bananas, this is his career, being on TV, and more importantly, and specifically this show, The Challenge. And he loses it. He does not come off very cool. Like, he looks like a hothead when it comes to Wes. He just loses his shit. He cannot stand Wes that much. And I alluded to the UFC sort of a main event, and that's totally true. Like, when you have Ronda Rousey versus Miesha Tate, Rousey hated Tate so much, and Tate was just like, all right, well, we're rivals, but, you really could cool it every once in a while, and Rousey's just like, fuck you, and, flips her off and shit like that. It's insane. But, god damn it. All right, see, now, I don't have my regular co-host to just kind of rein me in at all, so I'm just kind of flying off in any other direction. But I'll try and stay with these notes that I take, my handy-dandy notes that will guide me through. Let's see here. Okay, let's start. Oh, Jesus Christ. Right here, I got on my notes. This could have been on the cutting room floor, because this is where Sean Merriman and CM Punk, quote-unquote, settle their Twitter beef. Ah, Jesus Christ. There's, like, vehicles driving by and shit. I'm going to say that one more time. No. So, yeah, they settled their Twitter beef, and it was just like, Oh, Sean Merriman was trying to like strut his stuff poolside somewhere in California. Uh, no, it wasn't. It was like somewhere else. It was. It wasn't here in America, I don't believe. But anyways, they happened to be Puerto Rico, 2007. I want to say. I don't know. But yeah, Sean Merriman, he struck out with all these like hot women and shit, and he's just like, "What the fuck? Like I'm an NFL player." Okay, he didn't say that, but CM Punk was there, and he witnessed it, and that could have been just fine. But CM Punk is he starts shit. He's a shit talker. He is an instigator. Because that is also was his personality in the WWE. So CM Punk, he, you know, exposes that. He says that he's like, "Hey, you look like the Bills in the Super Bowl" or something like that on Twitter. So they have a Twitter beef. This is like what the first time they've met each other since, since then, I guess, and that's where Sean brings it up. And CM Punk is like, "Nah, I don't know, man. You made fun of my thong bikini or whatever." And Sean gives a hearty laugh, and CM Punk, they're just like, "Yeah, yeah, it's cool," cute little scene, establishes a rivalry, but it's like, you could have, maybe you should have cut that out, or at least cut out the part where they make up at the end. Fucking manipulate the scene. I don't care because it'll fucking work. As soon as Sean's like, "What do you think? We settle this beef," and then just cut to CM Punk just like staring at him. He's like, uh, maybe, and then just cut. Not even that. Don't even let him utter any. Yeah, don't let him go like. Don't let any of that. Cut all that shit out. So then we're like, oh my god, what did CM Punk say? Did he say, "Yeah, we're cool" or not? So when they go against each other in the end, we could get lied to. Where they're like, "Oh my god, this is finally got to get settled," but in the best way possible. Don't show us that scene where he's like, "Yeah, it's cool." Like, no, I don't want to see that. I mean, not now. Like, seeing it then was cool, but not now if you're going to build up the rivalry. All right. Anyways, next is a challenge outing. This happened before when they went to the bowling alley. This time they're going to play some flag football in the park. And, this is the bar scene. In a regular challenge, the producers are like, "Okay, we got to get these people liquored up, but more importantly, rubbing elbows or like elbowing each other. Eventually just put them together, get them drunk. We want some scenes where they're just arguing. This isn't about the challenge. This is just the drama shit, the cool drama shit that we like to show." But they can't do that because these are pro athletes, and they're like, "We have sponsors, all right? Like, we can't, like, we cannot be seen getting drunk and violent and racial and homophobic and any of that shit. We have a brand to protect." So the producers go down there and they're like, "Okay, well, make them go play football in flag football in the field park," which is fine because this is actually kind of cool because there are two ex NFL athletes. And it's like, oh, cool, that's awesome. And then so is like Johnny and CT and like all these guys that are like, this is actually like a fucking dream to play any kind of football with these two icons. But I don't know what they were going for with the bowling alley in the previous episode. I was like, oh god, so low rent. Like it was so weird. I mean, people like bowling. I'm sure they do, but like unless there was like a professional bowler there on the team, that'd be amazing. Some guy in his 40s who's got like a beer gut, right? He's always talking about Nam and shit and how it just affects everything. He's like, there are rules in bowling. There are, this is not Nam. There are rules. Anyways, Jesus Christ, Dave, Matt, where are you guys to rein me in? Yeah, flag football in the park, and that was cool. But then I'm like, oh shit, what was the point of all this? Well, to get some drama. And Lolo Jones, or Lolo Jones, is it? It's not Jones, is it? Well, it's Lolo. Either way, I don't remember her last name. But Lolo and Lindsay's like, "Hey, relax," because Lolo's like, "Oh yeah, I kicked ass. You don't like how hard I hit and shit." And Lindsay's just like, "Okay, kind of." maybe dial it down, perhaps. She doesn't even say that. She just says relax. And Lolo can't handle it. She's like, well, you won't let me be free, and this is who I am, and I'm trying to express myself in this way. And you saying relax right now, that just ruined everything. So fuck this huddle. And she like storms off the field. And she goes and sits under a tree and gets consoled by Bananas. Not really at all. Bananas like, more screen time. Come here. I want to talk to you, Lolo. Let's make a scene here. But really, I'm just like, oh gosh, I forgot. Like this is real Lolo, and she really is kind of a big, athletic, gifted baby. So I guess this was gonna happen. But yeah, I didn't realize that Lindsay and Lolo had that much of a rivalry going on, and so it's a little bit more exciting. But moving on. What do you? Let's talk about the mission. All right, the mission, which will be a test of their ingenuity, says Cruz, Victor Cruz, and it's like, okay. I mean, this is going to be tailgate barbecue. We've seen this before on Free Agents. People wrapped up have to roll around through crazy shit and get to the end on a pad or whatever. But I mean, and again, this is the second mission where it's like we've seen this before. Like the challengers really have a good shot at this thing because they've done it before. And the definition of ingenuity is the quality of being clever, original, and inventive during, these moments. These random monkey wrenches getting thrown into the mix. But, as Dave said previously, he was like, well, sports are just doing the same thing over and over again to perfection, do the sports really have a lot of moments where it's like, man, this is a shitload of ingenuity that comes in here, you know what I mean? Like, is there... I can't think of a sport, like skiers, when they're skiing and all of a sudden they have to, like, roll themselves under a barbed wire fence, and they're like, wow, they never had that before. That requires ingenuity and shit like that, It doesn't happen. So now, I guess what I'm saying is, at the very beginning, Victor Cruz is like, we're going to test, these things that every sport athlete needs to have or whatever. And I'm just like, I don't know, this is kind of falling apart. But but that's fine, On to the champ team captain and pro team captain. They got to choose. It's a guy's week. And Jordan, he's like, hey, guess what? I'll sign up. Fuck it, right? Like, we all got to go sometime. So he signs up. He's going for the Lucky Finn project. And for the pros, it's CM Punk. He's like, hey, I like puppies. Paw Chicago. That's what his thing is. The organization is called. And yeah, what his old softy likes the puppies. Women's Heat #1. So now there's something to do with a bag of chips, but like, honestly, give them a goddamn small bag of chips in their mouth. Don't just hand them this piece of paper that says chips on it, and if you drop it, the 2-minute time added to your team or whatever. But I was just like, this is weird. Like, this is goofy. I mean, this is goofy, but it's also fun, and it requires a lot of ingenuity. But anyways, but the fact that they just had a piece of cardboard in their mouth with the words chip written on it, chips written on it, it's just lame. I didn't care for it, but whatever. It was just such a small part of this mission, so let's keep on trucking through here. Women's Heat #1 is between Lindsay, Lolo, Ashley Kay, and Camilla. And I gotta say, Lindsay gets there first, and she was way ahead. I mean, this is she beat Lolo. Lolo came in second, but more importantly, Lolo and Lindsay beat the challenge women. Like, what the fuck? Come on, Ashley Kay. Come on, Camilla. And oh my god, to make things worse, Lolo rolls over Ashley Kay. It was great. It was just like a dominating, like, I am the alpha female, I am Wonder Woman. I am Godot. Got it. Agada. Whoever's playing Wonder Woman or whatever, apparently she can't really speak well. All right, so, but you know what? What happens? After being rolled over, Ashley Kay finds the inner strength and beats Camilla. She gets third place. Camilla gets fourth place. And before Camilla could even get to her bun, her little yoga mat thing, Lindsay again is fucking awesome. She's like using her head to block Camilla from getting to her spot. It was so great and ingenuitive that it Lindsay just blew up in my eyes. You know, I'm like, oh shit, I know you from before, just like a couple minutes ago. Lolo doesn't like you. That's a cool rivalry. You're cool, you know? Yeah, I was just sitting there watching the episode. I'm like, this is what that means, and thus this. That's exactly how it was when I was watching this fucking video. Men's Heat number 1. We have Cameron gets first. But you know what? Because Bananas was in first by a long shot. Like Bananas was cutting through this thing, and it was awe-inspiring. But then he hits something, a little roadblock. He hits a roadblock. He's stuck. Cameron bypasses him and gets the win. Bananas, he finally gets out of that spot. He gets second. CM Punk gets third. Wes gets fourth. And CT comes in at last. I mean, come on. I mean, good job for Bananas. Sucks that you got stuck, but man, we really needed that. Cameron and CM Punk taking the first and third slots. I mean, Wes, CT. But you know what, though? CT got there with help. He got pushed by Wes. Wes, like CT's like, push me over, you know? Like and then Wes, he does just that, you know? Sportsmanship, athleticism, ingenuity, lots of ingenuity. Oh my god, all that ingenuity. Speaking of ingenuity, Wes and CT, the fact that they helped each other was a nice little moment. I mean, it's going to be a lot more significant later, but the fact that, like, you have to remember, Wes and CT, they were rivals. They were rivals on Rivals too. That was a great pairing, but you know what? That beef, whatever that was kind of squashed because they won together. They did amazing together, and they won. So they're kind of rivals too, buddies. You know, it's not official. There's no way. You know, there's no, phone call. And CT's like, hey, guess what, man? You're a friend. All right, not a foe. You're a friend. You know. And Wes is like, yeah, sure, okay. You know. But yeah, where are we now? What the fuck? I'm losing my notes here. Okay. Jesus Christ. But okay, so after all this, you know, CM Punk is like, all right, well, I got third place, but you know, hey, I don't know what he said. He said some sort of joke or whatever. And Banana's just like, I don't know why you're so happy to lose. You know, that was pretty pathetic. I'm just. These aren't direct quotes, but this is basically what Bananas is doing. He's like, "Why? Like, I don't know why you're so happy to lose. That's stupid." And CM Punk's like, "Oh yeah, okay, well, it happens. What do you do for a living? What do you do for a living again?" And Bananas says, "I know what I don't do. I don't get my ass kicked in the UFC." And that's supposed to be this huge blow because CM Punk did lose his one and only UFC fight. I mean, CM Punk's being billed as a WWE wrestler, or ex-wrestler at least, / UFC fighter with one fight under his belt. But what's great is that Bananas like, yeah, you got your ass kicked or whatever, and CM Punk's like, hey, guess what? I was gonna, fight or die gloriously. Either way, it was gonna fucking happen, you know. And CM Punk's like, it doesn't matter. Like, what are you trying to do here, Bananas? Bananas is just kind of swinging at anything that might land. So now he's attacking his UFC, his WWE career, and shit like that. But I think Banana says like, yeah, that would never happen to me. I would never get my ass kicked that bad or whatever. And CM Punk's like, yeah, it would never happen to you because no one would pay a dime to see your ass. And that was a great comeback. because CM Punk, not only did he have that one fight in the UFC, but everyone was just like, that's a fucking joke. This is a wrestler here. All this was a money cash grab. CM Punk fought in UFC 203. He got on the poster. He didn't headline, but he co-headlined. It said CM Punk versus Gall. Or Gall, whatever his last name was. Mickey Gall. Yeah, there it was. Gall. And what's more significant is that it said CM Punk. That is not his real name. That is his fucking nickname. That is, and it didn't say Phil Brooks versus Gall. So he got on the poster. He got on the, he got his name on there. And he got paid for it because he's a draw. Because people know who he is. That is the bottom line, So that great line, CM Punk's like, well, you would never get signed on. Because who the fuck wants to see you? No one knows who you are. And it was great. It was like, yeah, bananas. You're huge in this little arena here called the Challenge. But shit, man. Like, come correct if you want to come at the Punk. You know what I mean? But so Banana says, yeah, well, you know what? You failed in the WWE. You failed in the UFC. And CM Punk is like, you know what, motherfucker? You're a fan. You know my whole entire career. You know my stats. You know all that shit. You are a fan, and I don't know who the fuck you are. And Bananas, he says something later. He's like, well, CM Punk should change his name to CM Bitch, because that's all he does. And I mean, I wonder if Bananas fans in particular, were like, oh shit, oh fuck, oh snap, and all that other stuff. You know what I mean? Well, Bananas, he should change his name to CM Bitch because that's all he does. The first thing that established this fight was the fact that he was all smiles and saying like, oh well, you win some, you lose some, and Bananas like, well, what the fuck? No one's ever happy to lose. So you're a hypocrite, Banana. You're a hypocrite. No, you're just making shit up. You were getting mad at CM Punk for not bitching and complaining. Yeah, fucking idiot. So I guess your line is just like random, and it's just like you're just making noise. You're fucking Donald Trump at this moment. Yes, I will get political. Donald Trump just says whatever the fuck he wants, and he's like, oh, my fucking followers, they'll believe me, and they do. Next is the women's second heat. Holy shit, Taya Blanco, whoever this chick is, she's just cute as a button. She's tiny, and I think she's the snowboarder. I think she's like snowboarder. And she's way ahead of all these other women. She gets there, like, fucking awesome job. And I'm like, holy shit, way to go, Taya. I don't know what their sports backgrounds is, and really, I don't think it should matter too much. Because I don't give a shit if someone's from Are You the One, or if they're from Explosion. That doesn't matter what they've done to get onto the show. I'm just, what's important is what's happening right here in front of us, ladies and gentlemen. We gotta appreciate that shit. Second place is Louise Hazel, I believe. Yes, in second place. In third place and fourth, again, these fucking challenge women. Come on. Like, let's go, ladies. Cara Maria, you are letting me down. Like sometimes things don't matter. Cara Maria, very pretty. Her hair, awesome. Like, oh, I love it so much. But after a while, I'm like, I don't care. Just perform. Just fucking win. Like, you're on this show and you're not doing what you're supposed to. None of these challenge women have on these barbecue rolly thingamajiggies. And then in fourth place is newly crowned champ Ashley M. That sucks. Cara Maria also blocked by Louise Hazel, possibly kicked while trying to cross. Again, pro athlete women, they're showing up, and it's great. I really like this. This is by far a better episode than any of Invasion of the Champions, and maybe I'll even say Rivals 3 and Battle of the Bloodlines, possibly. Okay. Men's Heat number 2. I just have written down on this is that it's this crazy human multi pile up at the corner where they got to turn. You got Jordan, Darrell, what's this say? Louis? Is there a Louis in there? Gus and Sean Merriman. They're all just like cramped up, like trying to roll over each other and shit. It's like seeing a bunch of dinosaurs in the fucking black tar, just all scrambling for life and stuff. You ever see that movie Fantasia? They depict that as a desperate scene, but it's awe-inspiring because they're fucking dinosaurs rolling around, and you have these challengers and pro athletes rolling around each other trying to do this crazy fucking outdoor game. It's amazing, especially with the mustard and the ketchup and shit. We'll get into that really quick. But who crosses first is Jordan. Jordan, who's played this before, but more importantly, in Free Agents, he actually threw the mission because last place got to go into the kill card or whatever, and Bananas was voted in, and then Jordan's like, you know what? I'm gonna flip all 3 cards, motherfucker. Here we go. But I also say he threw the mission, quote unquote, because Jordan was not having the best season. He was having he was having a sophomore slump on Free Agents, and he also called out Bananas. It was just a bad time for him, especially with the elimination given. Like he could have stopped that. Like how Dave could have stopped me from just going on these endless stories that go nowhere. Background information. Second, Darrell. Darrell gets a second spot right there. Very good. Very good. Like, Darrell, he's been gone forever. He just came back previously for Invasion of the Champions, and he hasn't missed a step. Like, he's just the same guy. And he was amazing. Like, there's no dip with this guy at all. Third place is Louis? I really don't think that's the name, is there? I don't know. But fourth is Gus. And fifth is Sean. Sean, he got stuck hardcore. He's covered in ketchup, and then he's lying in a pool of mustard, and he's completely, like, there's this amazing bird's eye view shot over him. And apparently he was also stuck there for like 45 minutes. Like, it was bad. Not only that, but he dropped the chips, the stupid bag of drawn on chips, bag of chips, which also added 2 minutes. And this moment right here is what really caused all the pros to lose. Like, they can't say like, oh well, we dominated, and Sean was like the last needle to break the camel's back or whatever, or straw. It was Sean that did the whole thing. Sorry, I'm losing track of myself in the notes. Let's see here. Oh yeah. So anyways, the champs win. Jordan, who was the captain, now gets $5,000 to the Lucky Finn Project. Lucky Finn Project is not where they put dolphins in the slums and the projects and shit out in the inner cities. That is not what they do. Something better than that. I actually don't remember what it does, but it's something to do with Jordan being born without his full hand and stuff like that. Pros lose, which means CM Punk, the captain, he's automatically into elimination, and I'm like, oh my god, this is great. Back at the house, we have on the spot nominations. Victor Cruz, he shows up, he's like, let us know now, like, now it's time and shit. So, who's gonna go against CM Punk? The group gropes each other until they all cry out in ecstasy, and they all shout out one name, Sean Merriman. And this is great because, I think Lolo was like, Sean, because the performance, and I think it's unanimous. They're like, listen, I mean, yeah, it's cool that you'll go against CM Punk because there's sort of a rivalry or whatever. We could settle that Twitter beef. But it's for sure performance. So now, yeah, there we go. Sean Merriman versus CM Punk. And for the champ side, this is where it started to just get better and better as the episode went on. Jordan, he picks West to go in automatically. For the group to vote in whoever they want. to go against Wes. And Jordan's reasoning is like, listen, Wes has been talking about his track record, and it's not that great. I think it's just classic Wes propaganda, just talking about how great he is and shit, and he's washed up and stuff. And this actually reminds me of a listener from the previous episode. They were just like, "Oh, Wes is washed up and he's fucking horrible," and if like he he was just saying he was bad and stuff like that. And I was kind of getting my dander up. I'm like, wait a minute, nobody talks about Wes that way and shit. Because I was going to say a bunch of stuff. I was actually going to comment back, but I'm like, I don't know. It's just going to come off as like I'm just pro Wes again. But I will say this. I mean, his most recent shit, Wes, Rivals 2 win, he won. He beat Johnny Bananas in the fucking final. I mean, how could you deny that? And Bananas, he had Frank. You know what I mean? Yeah, Wes had CT, but like Frank just won, and Bananas won last time. He already beat Wes and CT in finals before, so you can't just take that away. And Exes 2, he didn't win, but holy shit, did he dominate that season? Battle of the Exes 2 was Wes's season until, some botched producer decisions, Johnny Bananas coming back, everyone just like abandoning Wes's ship. They're just like, we'd rather suck the dick of a banana peel than, or like peel a banana by sucking his dick. I don't know what we're trying to say, but like as soon as Bananas came back, they're like, bye Wes, and they just like ran off and shit. Rivals 3, Wes did do bad. I will. It's not even bad. Like how could you do well with Nani? I will never let that go. Wes got probably his worst partner in the Rivals trilogy ever on Rivals 3, and out of all his partners, I think she might have been the worst, because you know what? At least Casey was able to hang out with him through 5 eliminations in that one season of Fresh Meat. I mean, that's saying something. Nani, not so much. Shit. All right. Now the group decides who's going to go against Wes. And it's Camilla's turn first. And Camilla's like, I don't know what to do. And Wes says, you want to ask me who I want to go against? And Camilla's like, all right, fine. Who you want to go against? He says, I want to go against Bananas. Oh, that's great. I was just like, yes, this is exactly what I want to see. This is gonna happen. And everyone's laughing. Everyone's like, oh, that'd be great. And Bananas goes, ha ha ha. Yeah, well, guess what, Wes? It's not up to you or what you want. We have a group decision here. And to me, that was extremely telling. Johnny Bananas could have easily said, oh, you want me? All right, I'm stepping up. I'm doing it. Because remember, Sean Merriman, not everyone said his name. I mean, most of them. Everyone who spoke said Sean Merriman's name. And then Sean's like, you know what? Let's just do the darn thing. Dang it, And then Victor Cruz is like, all right, so we shouldn't go through the rest of the list. And Sean's like, nah. And he just walks up, and he walks up to CM Punk. That's great. Bananas does not do this. Johnny Bananas had this moment right here to be like, all right, let's go, motherfucker, because he loses his shit. He does not like Wes, and he likes to say, like, oh, Wes is a piece of garbage and shit. But Bananas knows Wes has an amazing track record in the elimination. He is the most winningest male eliminator person ever. Man. So... anyways, that was telling. I didn't get past my eyes, ears, notes. Okay, so but anyways though, okay, and then it kind of dips down a little bit the episode because Camilla's turn. She's like, you know what? Okay, well, Wes wanted Bananas, but I'm gonna say Darrell. I'm like, why? And Darrell's like, yeah, like he has a face where it's like, why? I don't get it. What are you doing? But you got to remember, Camilla And Bananas, Camilla believes Bananas and her have a thing. You know, they did bang and shit, and they did win together. And for some reason, she's like, "Well, I know that he fucked over Sarah, but he would never do that to me." Well, he has fucked you over. I believe it was Battle of the Bloodlines. You fucking idiot. I don't mean to be so harsh on Camilla, but that was really dumb. God damn it! All right, Ashley M. She says banana. She's like, fuck it, you know, I want to see this too and shit. Ashley K says CT. I'm thinking, why? I don't understand that at all. I don't even understand why Ashley K is here. I mean, yeah, sure, on paper she's won, but I'm like, it's because Laurel said no, isn't it? Laurel didn't want to be here, Ashley K, and you goddamn well know it. Love you, Ashley K. Cara Maria. She says the inevitable. She's like, bananas. They do not like each other either. Another rivals pairing that should have been, but never has. And then CT's like, you know what? Bananas. He's like right next to Bananas. He throws his arm. He's laughing and shit. And Bananas, he's smiling, but he is not happy right now. And Darrell, he's like, Bananas, because I think there was some other votes in there. It could have been Darrell as well or some shit. I don't remember. But it's great. So now it's going to be Wes and Bananas. Finally, they have this huge rivalry. Wes says, you know, Jordan, he sent me in because he's a closet Bananas fan. Like, he loves him so much. He probably, you know, grew up watching him and shit. And I'm sure it made his heart a flutter when he decided to go against Johnny Bananas in free agents. Like, holy shit, man. Can you, like, I am going to be in one of these rivals things for sure because of this and shit, you know, like my star is gonna rise because, you know, it does pay to get a good rivalry going on and stuff like that. But let's talk about the actual elimination now that we have the setup here. We're gonna go right into it. It's called Blindsided. This is again gonna test out your ingenuity, your ability to like be creative and shit in dire straits. And we've seen this before. We've seen this in Rivals 2. How do we know that? Because Darrell says it. He's like, I saw this. I saw, what's his name? Preston and, fuck. He's not with us anymore, but, god damn it, I like him too. I just can't think of his name. But Knight, there you go. And he says, yeah, he's like, I watched them do it. I'm like, oh my God, Darrell, so you're still watching the show? Like, you were still, like, you haven't been around forever, and you're a dad now and shit, but he's just like, hey, man, like, I might come back one of these days, so might as well tune in. Maybe I miss the glory days, you know? Like, maybe every once in a while he does, you know? But that was cool. What's cooler is that, okay, now, these people, CM Punk, Shawn Merriman, cool rivalry enough, whatever, you know, Twitter beef. So was Johnny Bananas and Frank. That was Twitter beef. Like, don't get all pissy about it. And Wes and Bananas, they're gonna be blindfolded. They're gonna have to break sticks over each other's fucking face and arm and chest and shit. But on top of all that, they get to choose their own coach. And to me, I was just like, oh, this is awesome, especially who they choose and why. But let's start off with the CM Punk versus Shawn Merriman. Best 2 out of 3 rounds. CM Punk chooses.
I don't know that one.
Louise Hazel. Shit. All right, so here we go. CM Punk versus Shawn Merriman. CM Punk chooses Louise Hazel, and he says, you know what? It's because she has a distinctive voice. She is the British one. She was the one that was like, oh, I fucking fucked over Lolo and shit. And then Shawn Merriman, he chooses, not from his own team, but Darrell. And I'm like, yes, that is awesome. I like the fact that Shawn realizes that Darrell is fucking cool, you know? And he's like, hey, I needed experience, which, yeah, Darrell has, but also, like, kind of fighting experience. He knows about movement and stuff. Darrell was a boxer. He was also a boxer while he was doing the challenges. And I guess he won the Golden Gloves once, which I have no idea what that means. But it sounds significant because I've heard it brought up before when they talk about other like boxes and shit. I don't think it's just like, oh, everyone gets one. It's not like a black belt or anything. No, because that wouldn't be at all the same. Yeah, people don't just get black belts. It's very disrespectful and shit. Okay, so anyways, Shawn, he's going to be playing for the Lights On organization, whatever it's called. I don't remember what it does. And CM Punk again, he's gonna go for the Paw Chicago for the puppies, no kill puppy mill or something like that. But yeah, okay. Darrell coaching Sean Merriman. He's like, hey, guess what? When I say dim the lights, that means go low. Don't be going after no head because you could move. Like they could move their head, you could miss. Just go for the body, attack the body and shit. And I'm like, oh my god, if I could just be Sean Merriman to be well, no, I don't have to be him, but if I could just be coached by Darrell in some sort of elimination, I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, this is great. This is gonna work. Anyways, let's start this off. Round one. It starts off great. CM Punk, he rolls forward and then takes a swipe. And I'm like, that looked awesome. It didn't touch a damn thing, but it looked cool. And Sean, he gets in there and he just swipes CM Punk across the head. He does go, like, I think Darrell just say, dim the lights. And Sean swipes low. And for him, it's like right when CM Punk was kneeled down like that, right across the head. He gets the point. I'm like, oh shit, this is fucking crazy. Round two. All I have here is that CM Punk basically... No, Sean dives. Like, really goes for CM Punk. And around the same time that CM Punk is going forward, because CM Punk actually gets him across the head on the backswing. So they almost missed each other. But with that backswing, CM Punk was able to get it. And it's not like he meant to do it at all. I think he just kind of caught him. But it was very close. And in between rounds, CM Punk's like, Louise Hazel, tell me, is there anything like I should know about this guy? I mean, now after the fact or during the fact? And she's like, well, he's left-handed. And CM Punk's like, he brightens up. He's like, he's left-handed, really? You don't say. This means something in striking and shit, like, you know, southpaw and stuff like that. So he decides in this third round, he dives to Sean's left because afterwards Sean does swing with all his might. So when the arm is thrown inside of Sean Merriman's body, he's completely exposed for strikes. So CM Punk, he comes in on the left and he swoops in pretty low, gets Sean in the side. I mean, CM Punk wins. Sean Merriman is gone. CM Punk says, well, I smelt him too because he smelled like ketchup because he was in ketchup on that mission for about 45 minutes. Crazy shit. But you know what? That was great. Let's get on to the main event. Wes fighting for the American Cancer Society. Don't know what they do there. Maybe that's a puppy thing. Special Olympics. I don't know what they do. Okay, I know what all these things do. But Bananas, his coach is Darrell. He chooses Darrell too. And I thought that was kind of cool. Kind of smart because, again, like Darrell would be a great coach for this. Wes's coach is CT. I fucking love this thing. CT's like, yeah, I could do that, buddy. Yeah, you know, might as well. You know? I can't laugh like him, but like, this is what I'm thinking right there. I'm like, you know what, CT. Remember the fucking Johnny Bananas backpack on Cutthroat? That was an amazing elimination. You know, CT will always have that over Johnny Bananas. But the funny thing is that wasn't an official elimination. I mean, like, CT was flown in a fucking helicopter and fucking that mask that Hannibal Lecter wore, and he wore it, and I cannot speak like CT, but he fucking... Anyways, yeah, they brought CT in, and they're like, hey, guess what? You get to fucking fight Johnny Bananas randomly in elimination. It's totally not fair, but here you go. It's like, fucking killer, sweet, you know. And then, now Wes, he gets to fight Bananas, and it's not really official because it's not... I mean, this isn't an exact... season. I mean, it's not official. Like, this is not season 30. This is still considered a spin-off. The same way that Spring Break Challenge was considered a spin-off. But this is really sweet. That doesn't seem to matter because Johnny Bananas and Wes, to them, this is important. This has been a long time coming, and it was fucking weird that they haven't done it yet. So finally, we get it. So here we go. Round one. I just have, you know, Wes listening to CT. He does go in kind of kind of lower, but Bananas is able to get a swipe on Wes right in the head. And to me, I'm like, okay, well, crazy. But it just sort of happened. There was no technique. In the second round, there's way more technique. Wes, he decides to just kind of jump far to the left, almost like he knows that he's going to Bananas' left, and counter strike. I think he hears the swipe when Johnny Bananas starts throwing, and Johnny Bananas only throws it in the center, like almost like waist deep. He doesn't get that low because he didn't catch Wes at all. Wes dove so far, and it landed so close to Bananas that he got the hit, and it was great. Now they're tied up, and I'm just like sweating bullets. I'm like, oh my god, everything rides on this. If Johnny Bananas wins, Wes is just gonna get shit on some more and stuff, and people are gonna be like, you know what, Johnny Bananas is right. He does speak the truth, doesn't he, and shit like that. And what he did to Sarah was just, and people will start to believe in everything and all this bullshit and stuff. And if Wes wins, oh my god, praise the Lord. I mean, what happens then? I mean, this is great stuff. Round 3. You know what? I'm going to go with that he hears the sounds. Wes heard Johnny Bananas swipe, and Bananas did like 3 or 4 times, like, and enough for Wes to hear, and he's like, all right, I'm going to dive again, super fucking low, to the left of the swiping, and then swipe to my own left, catch him. And that's exactly what he did. Johnny Bananas did not mix up his swiping at all. And who knows, maybe it's because he kind of like, I don't know if he belittled Darrell at all, but like leading up to it, Johnny Bananas is like, hey, let me know when he's like fucking, not that, like when he's close enough to hit. And Darrell's like, yeah, that makes sense. I know that. He just kind of walks off too. Darrell's just like, what the fuck? Like, I know how to fucking do this. I know eliminations. I watch this on TV. I am a fighter myself. I know all about, trying to match the distance and all that shit. Motherfucker. Like, Anyways, Bananas is out. and this really does suck because, Johnny Bananas is eliminated. I could not believe it. And I really wanted to record this with my regular co-host, DJ Matty Nice and Hardcore Dave, but they are not available at all. So I'm just like, shit, I want to try and do this justice and say like, hey, what would Matt say to defend Bananas, and what would Dave say to disagree with whatever I said and shit like that. So this is just they're more than that. I just decided to reduce them to just little sound bites, but right. Okay, let's just get on with the episode real quick. Victor Cruz, they're standing next to each other, Wes and Bananas, and Victor Cruz is like, is the rivalry still on? And Wes says, yeah. Bananas, Victor Cruz is like, Johnny, do you have anything to say? And Johnny Bananas says, no, I'm good. And I was stunned. I truly was stunned. Because Johnny Bananas, his real nickname should be Johnny the Mouth. Like a fucking Italian mafia stereotype. It's like, hey, it's Johnny the Mouth. Hey, over there. What are you fucking doing, Johnny the Mouth? He's like, I'm just talking as always. What the fuck do you think I'm doing? My fucking nickname is Johnny the Mouth. I never fucking shut up. You want to buy a t-shirt? Fuck Sarah Rice. I threw rice right at her during her wedding, and I still fucking took her money. Fuck her. Oh my god. Anyways, this is done. This is over with. I do apologize. I don't want to just come off as like a complete Johnny Bananas hater, but he, is he talented? Yes. Is he great at talking shit? Well, I pointed out earlier how it's like he's just kind of saying shit. He's just saying like, oh, CM Punk this and that, and he's like, well, you just kind of contradicted yourself right there, and some of his best lines are just movie quotes and stuff, and it's really it's unfortunate that Matt or Dave aren't here to just say like, Vince, fuck off. Johnny Bananas is amazing. Wes got lucky. Oh, That's what Johnny Bananas said. He's like, there was luck in there, you know, luck. And what does he say? He's like, you know what, this loss, that just means I'm going to have to become darker and more evil, more sadistic, you know? And I'm like, dude, you were just becoming more sadistic and evil and ruthless and bloodthirsty every season anyways. What you did to Sarah was fucking cold. I mean, whatever. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to imagine all the Johnny Bananas fans, and not even like, whatever. I'm sorry. I was always a Wes fan, and I've tried to tolerate Johnny Bananas, but he just kind of rubs me the wrong way. And now we got ourselves a win. There we go. If you want to get all political, Republicans, Democrats, you know, Johnny Bananas, Wes Bergman. It's not that at all. Well, let's not be so divisive just because one side lost to the other. You know, it really shouldn't be that way at all. I just find it's funny that I have to cover such a great episode by myself, and I'm pissed. No one's here to talk to me and tell me that I'm wrong, dead wrong. But if you want to, you could leave a comment. You could like this video. You can subscribe. We do this weekly, as it says on the video screen there. But yeah, this is Vincent Cloud. Tune in next week.